mean, Astonishing X-Men hasn't dropped yet, but that's all we get out of this relaunch is Astonishing X-Men and X-Men Blue. Oh, I was going to say, I thought the baby wipes were hidden on me. I was going to ready to freak out. I'd be like, right. Hiding the baby wipes again? Like, come on.
Yeah, those are vital.
Once you go baby wipes, you can't go back, man. Seriously. There's no going back.
I know. I've had those in my house for 5 years now, and tell me all about it.
Me and my ex-girlfriend, we used to live together. We had like a fucking cabinet full of like flushable baby wipes. My friends used to come over and they'd be like, "Why do you have baby wipes?" And I'm like, "Dude, come on." It's like toilet paper. That shit's out. Like,
yeah,
you need baby wipes. Like,
all right. Let's see here. We got notes up. My book's up. You ready?
Almost. Give me 2 minutes. Fucking. I threw in my AC this morning.
I can't be lazy tonight when we record and just do one giant long session. That took me forever last week to
do.
Yeah.
Like edit and shit.
Yeah.
That was pretty long. It was a 2-hour show.
Yep.
Just 2 hours.
Yeah, we hit crossed 200 downloads this week.
No, we did not.
Yeah, dude, we're at like 215.
215? I was thinking like I was like, oh, maybe we got like 25 or 50.
Well, no. I mean, for this episode, hold on, I'll tell you. That's for total for all our for the month.
Okay.
Hang on. Let's see what
Even
we got.
Still,
I haven't checked today. We usually get a big hit on Sundays.
Even still, it's pretty big.
All right, so our total downloads for all our episodes, which is 5 right now, are 216.
Wow. Pretty good.
Episode 5 took the lead with 43 total downloads.
Oh wow, more than I thought.
That's the one just you and me. Episode 3, the one where we snap on Generation X, is right behind it with 41.
That's funny.
Our best download day was the day after we released the episode 5. We had 26 downloads that day alone. So
damn,
it's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Well, 1 second.
Yeah. When you type in, when you type in Marvel Comics, we're like number 4 on Podbean and number 6 on iTunes.
That's dope, considering like the thousands of podcasts that are out there.
Yeah, and then the other ones were behind. 2 of them are Jim and Eric, like Weird Science Pop and Weird Science.
That's weird. I figured when I saw what G-Man asked, like, "Oh, I can't find your podcast." I'm like, "You would. Like, you're the only person who you would have trouble finding the podcast, you motherfucker." Like, you can't even work.
I'm like, Twitter, dude, type in Marvel Comics. I'm seriously sending him screenshots of like what to search and which one it is, like with points and stuff.
Just search Marvel.
And then finally he's like, "I found it."
Oh my god.
I've switched the logo like 8 times and iTunes still won't take it off the initial logo. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah.
Weird.
So
real weird. All right.
Yeah, I have it set up like I like the one right now with the Spider-Man head. Yeah. All that is you know where it says March Madness when the basketball tournament's going on?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
That's what it is. I just changed it to say Marvel instead of March. And then I took the basketball out and put Spider-Man's head there.
Oh my god. I love it.
That's what I did. So I left the brackets in.
Let me tell you, putting in this air conditioner was the best thing I ever did this morning. It made me throw up, but it was the best thing I did this morning. Like,
oh yeah, because you exerted yourself while you were fucking borderline sick.
Yeah, because I had to like pull the couch out, go into the crawl space, lift the AC, get it in the window. I'm like, oh god, it's like a vague memory. Like
know what else we got to teach G-Man to do?
What's that? Use Twitter.
No, well, crop his fucking feet out of his pole list.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, G-Man.
We love you, G-Man. All right, let's get going here. Get my clap in, and we'll talk a little Iceman here because we got to talk about this book twice today. So,
can you hear the loud hum of my AC? Let me know. I'll turn it off or something.
Is it on now?
Yeah.
No, I don't hear shit.
Oh, sweet, awesome. I was worried about that because it's like this like little like it hum, like it rubs up against the plastic, and it's like hum.
Yeah. That's why I didn't. I don't got my Beats headphones on today because the one fucking earpiece is all fucked up and it crackles, and that was coming through on the goddamn recording last week, pissing me off. Shit. So I can't record with those right now until I get them fixed. All right, here we go. I'm gonna clap. We're gonna get started here, and we're gonna talk some bullshit, Iceman. All right, how we doing, Weird Science? This is Brandon. I'm coming at you guys along with Trevitt for this week's Marvel Minute. We're here to talk about your choice for the week, and that is Iceman #1. What other books? It was Spider-Man, and what was the third one? Brave New World, whatever the Secret Empire tie-in was.
For, I think, what do you mean? What did Carl choose?
The poll. Yeah,
the poll. The poll. I think, I think it was Brave New World. I think you nailed it.
Yeah, Brave New World and Spider-Man. So it edged out Spider-Man. Brave New World was a distant third.
So surprised. Surprised this edged out Spider-Man.
Yeah, I know. It got a late push there. So we're talking Iceman #1. We'll get into the creative team, my little blurb, and then me and Trevor will let you know what we think about this bad boy here. Writer is Sina Grace. I think I'm saying that right. We got the art team of Alessandro Vitti and Rochelle Rosenberg. That's the artist and the colorist there. And then this is a Marvel Comics production, continuation of the Resurrection relaunch. So as we near the end of that relaunch, what do we got? One book left. Astonishing.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Old Man Logan. I keep forgetting about Old Man Logan because that kind of counts. New team.
Yeah, I forget about it too. I mean, it's still the same book, you know. At least all these other books are new books, but
yeah, they got fresh numbering and everything, and Old Man Logan's just a different creative team. That's all that's going on there, really.
Yeah.
But anyway, as we near the end of the Resurrection relaunch, it's becoming clear to me that this was a relaunch done in haste, with the idea in mind to solely wrestle some sales away from DC with another Marvel gimmick. Quality be damned. So to Marvel's credit, for the most part, at least it's worked, and the X-Men books are again some of Marvel's most popular. However, below the surface of the new X books launching each month, there's not much to rest your head on story-wise. If you ask me, and Iceman 1 is the perfect example of this motto that Marvel has, which is slap a new #1 on it and it'll sell. So possibly we'll see with Iceman 1, but that's usually what they like to do. So without further delay, let's get into Iceman here on this week's Marvel Minute. Were you excited to read this going into the week, or what? Were you pumped for this book coming out?
I really was, because I love Iceman, so I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm finally going to get an Iceman. I know they've had like mini-series in the past, like 4-issue mini-series, but I was really excited for this. Was really excited.
Yeah. He's usually not one of the X-Men that get spun off into a solo title, so it was an interesting choice. And you know, if you hear us talk about X-Men Blue at all, you know that one of my main problems is that young Bobby at least is portrayed as just kind of like a slut, always looking for dates on Tinder and stuff, and that's the only characterization they give him. You know what I'm saying?
Boyfriend too.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. You never know who his boyfriend is. It's just a randomly named character. It's not anybody they really develop. You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember in IVX he had like that big fit and he bounced because of his inhuman boyfriend? He was like, he bounced from the battle because he was like, I'm sick of this. I could be with my boyfriend. I'm out of here. What happened to that guy?
I don't know. Nobody. You know, when you're 18 and you're dating, you try your best to not let that boyfriend word slip out. So maybe when they ask him, are we exclusive, or are we going steady? He just vanishes. He goes ghosts on him, and he finds a new one.
life was just not serious at 18. You know, that's true.
Yeah, that was the last thing I was worried about. But anyway, we start this bad boy off with Iceman at the Xavier Institute, and he's on the computer, of course, doing what else but looking for a date. He's creating a profile on this dating website called Single Not Stirred. But anyway, he's trying to figure out, what to fill out in the, I don't know, the general description box where you try to grab people's attention. I always have a hard time. Yeah,
I always have a hard time with that too. I never know what to write. Like,
he's stuck. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm Bobby, and that's where he's stuck at." Basically, throughout the story, the narration we get is what I thought was him filling out this box. Is that what you got?
Yeah. I thought that was kind of clever. I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool."
So that's what's going on here. But while the narration is picking up, and it's not super important to get into, it's like Iceman kind of telling you about himself. He's fighting and training with young Iceman in the, I don't know, probably the danger room. They don't really give you a location here. I'd assume the danger room because they're in the mansion.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
The credits page, dude, that Iceman art on the credits page was fucking awful.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on there. He's trying to.
They had a
trying to Marilyn Manson himself there. It looks like.
It's so bad. It looks like Marvel had a contest like with 5th graders. Send in your best portrait of Iceman, and it'll get published. And this was the winner.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it doesn't even really say who does that. That's not the same artist that's doing this book, though, because their Iceman is totally different than that. That's like a whole different style. And to kind of show you the difference between the two Icemen, they got young Bobby just going snowman style, and they got old Bobby with his suit underneath, kind of a more spiky-haired Iceman look while they're fighting. I don't know why the one has clothes on and the one doesn't have clothes. That's very weird.
It is very weird. It is very weird. Like one forms his snow suit over his uniform, and then one just controls his body. It's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to get at there, but they're just going back and forth, training with each other. And young Bobby is, I don't know, basically talking shit to older Bobby. As older Bobby just quickly schools him, more experience and whatnot. He gets turned into an ice cube in the end.
Gets whacked with a bat too, like right in the back.
Yeah, an ice bat, and then like his head is sticking out of this ice cube, like old style cartoons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He busts out of it easy, and that's like the end of the training session. And they go walking out into the hallway out of the danger room, and there's just a date waiting for young Bobby. Just hanging around. I
was wondering, like, who is that? Just a random date? Is that the boyfriend? I don't know. He shows up randomly. Like,
yeah. Do they even give the guy a name?
No, he doesn't even get a name. He's just date guy.
Yeah. He's date of the week. I don't know. And you see this bottom panel where they're introducing, I don't know, this dude, they're holding hands.
Yeah.
Young Bobby looks super creepy. Like the glow in his eyes is like he is a rapist.
He does look creepy. He looks creepy. The creepiest in the middle panel where he looks like a kind of like a creepy doll. Like his eyes are like slits.
No eyeball, like they're half open.
Oh boy.
Anyway, the young Iceman invites the older Iceman to tag along on the date. He's like, no, that'll be pretty awkward. And he ends up getting a text message from his mom, that is older Iceman, that his dad had a heart attack. Here's a question I have for you.
Shoot.
Do Iceman's parents acknowledge young Bobby as their son as well? Because he doesn't have any fucking parents in this world, and he would be the one that would need him as opposed to older Bobby, right?
Yeah,
being the younger of the two.
I think older Bobby steps in as the parent because, like, the way Bobby's parents are, I highly doubt they'll even acknowledge that kid.
Yeah.
Like
it's probably more like an older brother, because the way that young Iceman talks to older Iceman, like if you talk to your parent that way, at least when I was a kid, you would have been punched right in the nose. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true.
He doesn't really give him like parent level respect, but
no respect.
yeah, and it's weird because he's supposed to be like somebody from quote unquote the 60, 70 era X-Men, you know what I'm saying? Where I don't know, I feel like maybe kids weren't so brazen back in the day, you know, at least that's the idea in my mind. I don't know, you know, you're less likely to tell your teacher to go fuck off, I guess, in the 70s than in the 2017.
I think so, because you ever see that movie? I think it was like, I don't know if it was Over the Edge. It was like this movie with Matt Dillon from like the 70s, where all these kids like tripping out on acid, and they have like a riot through this town, and they burn all the houses, and they destroy the schools. So, you know, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was born in 82. I'm just making wild assumptions here. But anyway,
I've seen a lot of old movies. So.
Yeah. I've seen The Warriors. I know what it was like in New York City back then. Anyway, as young Bobby's phone starts blowing up, he gets a text message from his mom, who I guess, well, we'll get into that in a second. But the gist of the position here is that she tells Bobby his dad basically had like a heart attack type situation, and he's fine. He's not dead, you know, but they're in the hospital. So actually, older Bobby takes off to check on him.
Pericarditis, where you have like an infection around your heart. I actually had that. It's extremely painful. It does feel like a heart attack, but technically it's not a heart attack. Okay. I had to be in a hospital for a week because of it. Fucking awful.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with Bobby's dad. And Bobby comes, the next scene is busting into the hospital, and he, you know, visits his dad with his mom there. And this hospital food looks like whatever it was sitting there for 2 weeks and somebody ate it.
Looks like really bad pudding or something.
Yeah, like I know hospital food sucks, but this isn't some next level shit at the top of that page right there.
It's like a half-eaten cookie on the tray.
Yeah. Anyway, like we get just a conversation between Bobby and his parents, and I don't know, there's really nothing of note that takes place between the talk of these two, other than you pick up on they don't keep in touch really, you know. And his parents are kind of pieces of shit because they look down on him for being a mutant, and he hasn't told them that he's gay yet, right?
No, he hasn't.
Did I miss anything in that quick summary?
Nope, that's it. You know, we find out why his father's there, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, I would say his dad is more of an outright forward piece of shit, and his mom is more of like a subtle piece of shit. If you had to determine the pieces of shit we're dealing with here. Anyway, all of a sudden there's what? Go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say what she asked him. Whatever. You gotta get any new girlfriends? Whatever happened to that green-haired girl?
That's where you figure out at the point where like, oh, he hasn't even told them that yet. No. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not close at all.
And then they throw a Hail Mary pass like right after that.
Coffee there. Anyway, we got just a random scene that ends up occurring in the hospital here. Not because Iceman's there, not for any particular reason. Just suddenly this girl comes running through the halls of the hospital, running away from a purifier who last I've seen was in, I believe we saw them in Generation X, right?
Yeah.
So they're back. Yay. He's chasing this random girl. We don't know who it is. I thought it was Jubilee at first, but it's not. We find out why later. A, because she's not shooting fireworks out of her hands, and B, because she's just acting like a giant wuss running, you know, doesn't really have control of her powers yet. Yeah. And suddenly Hulk Iceman appears out of nowhere.
My favorite Iceman.
Yeah. He like just totally shards up all around the corners, and he looks huge here, you know, not like when he was fighting young Bobby in the beginning of the book with his suit being on over. He's butt naked Iceman here as well. he starts fighting this purifier who initially says like his ice powers have no effect on him. I don't know what the fuck this purifier dude is wearing, but it looks like he's just got kind of like gauntlets, like the dude from the Captain America movie, Crossbones.
Yeah,
and a football
exactly
helmet. That's what he looks like. That's what this fucking dude has on. Actually, it's a goalie mask.
Like that's exactly. It looks like a defenseman's helmet where it has like the full grate in front of it, not like the quarterback's helmet where it just has like the front.
Yeah. Almost like a new style goalie mask. You know what I'm saying? And just shoulder pads and these gauntlets. But he when he gets hit with ice initially. It's like your powers have no effect on me. And I'm like, why the fuck is that the case? Because this dude's wearing a goalie helmet and shin guards, you know?
Yeah,
what does he have that I'm missing? So they're fighting. Bobby ends up like putting up an ice wall. Is that what he does?
Yeah. I seen him do that in the movies once.
Yeah, he buys himself some time, and like X-Men 2 to get everyone out of the mansion.
That.
He saves I don't know, is it a doctor? Looks like some random doctor, and
it's a doctor.
He buys himself just like a minute or two before this wall gets busted down by the purifier, and he comes storming in to quote unquote find Bobby and blow him away, which is, happens pretty quickly before he gets punched from behind and falls for the oldest trick in the book, which is the ice duplicate trick. Got anything to say about all that, or
no? Nothing. I mean, I don't get like where does he get this tech? Like, because all the purifiers we see, I mean, we've seen a good amount of purifiers in the past couple of weeks, and none of them have had this Crossbones like mech suit that this guy seems to. It looks half homemade, half high tech. And what is this thing that he does? Like, after he kicks open the door and he starts like, you see the boom and he starts shooting shit, like he holds his fist and it looks like he has like this cosmic power around his hand. And I'm like, I just don't get what this gauntlet is doing for him. Like, shouldn't that burn his hand?
Yeah.
Like,
it does whatever he wants. Apparently it like has knives on it. I thought they were knives at first, like little mini swords that came out of him, but apparently maybe one is and one's a gun. I don't know.
Yeah,
this thing has, like I said, it looks like a makeshift football uniform that this dude has thrown together that just has these fucking incredible abilities attached to it. And if they're so against people with abilities, why is this dude walking around with a fucking mech suit? Isn't that the same goddamn thing?
Yeah, makes no sense. It's kind of dumb.
But it's extremely dumb. Like this whole issue is pretty forced. But he gets slugged out from the real Iceman after blowing up the fake duplicate Iceman, and then the ice powers suddenly start working on him, and he's turned into an ice cube and thrown against the wall and then frozen in place, I guess, until the police come, or based on the next panel, he dies and melts into the ground because somebody's getting mopped up. I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
I think maybe like the police came and got him, and they just showed like the guy cleaned up the best. I don't know. Like we don't see anything beyond that. We see fight end, and then like some guy with a mop, and it's not even a mop. It looks like a dry mop. Like,
I don't know, man. Whatever. So they got a wet floor, and Iceman is talking to this girl that he quote unquote rescued, who I forgot all about. And she shows off probably the worst fucking mutant power I've ever seen in my life. Do you want to describe this to people?
Sure. So she has saliva powers where she can spit and she can make her spit solid. So I guess she could create weapons out of her spit. It's fucking retarded.
Yeah. So it looks like she
has an English accent
and then like makes it an icicle knife almost. That's what it looks like,
Yeah. I mean, Bobby makes a good point. I mean, we find out her name's Michaela after all this stuff. And I think she's British because she calls her mom her mum, M-U-M.
Mum. Yeah.
But he makes a good point where he's like, when I first got my powers, all I could do is throw a friggin' snowball, throw slushies at people. He's like, so you never know what your powers are going to turn into over time. But at the same time, what are those powers going to turn into? And is it just her spit, or is if she cries, it can go solid. Does her boogers go solid too?
What can she make out of her shit? You know what I'm saying?
What about her?
Either
what
that
about
or she's going to turn into even a more disgusting form of Glob Herman and just be a giant spit puddle walking around. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's disgusting.
Fucking gross. I'm like, that is whoever is in charge of mutant powers, like they really got the short end of the stick. That girl was right about initially being, you know,
that's worse than
a little
maggot.
hesitant about what her mutant power is.
That's worse than maggot. If you've ever seen maggot,
it's
like
just
X-Men. Ugh, gross.
Eye boy, like we're running out of ideas here for new mutant.
We are. The worst part is like I went back and I've been like reading old X-Men Legacy stuff, and all these characters, like especially like Noel, Eye Boy, like they're all like old characters that used to be bling, but like they're just not being used well.
Yeah, and they're like, what are you gonna do with fucking Eye Boy? Like, what is his power besides having eyes on his body?
I have no clue.
I have
no clue.
Eye Boy just bothers me so much. We're gonna have a podcast on Eye Boy one day.
We really are.
But anyway, we move back to what I would call the villains of the story, Bobby's parents. As he reports back to them, they didn't want him to go deal with the situation. Remember that? I forgot to bring that up. So he comes walking back into the room, and they're almost like, man, I wish you didn't do that, because now the press is here and your dad's supposed to be taking it easy, and maybe you should take off is the gist of what his mom says. You know, just being a real whore. Anyway, Bobby's like, okay, maybe I'll get to check out your new house sometimes. And he leaves, you know.
He didn't even know they moved. That's the worst part. They didn't even tell him they moved. He finds out when he comes to visit them that they have a new house, and he's like, maybe I'll come by and see you sometime if I ever know where they are, you know? Yeah. Eyeboy has no powers. I was looking up Eyeboy's powers, and I can't find anything. He just has eyes all over his body. That's it. Like, it's just a bad
Nobody cares to update his wiki to let us know.
No.
Anyway, we move to the worst cliffhanger ever. I don't know. Iceman just decides to start talking corner in New York, which I don't know. Anywhere else will get you locked up, but on the streets of New York, I feel like that's just, you know, what you see. And he pulls back out his phone to update his dating profile, and just put in the shrugging shoulder emoji, basically. So that's the cliffhanger of the story, where it says, describe yourself in 500 words or less, and we get a shrugging shoulder cliffhanger emoji.
Yeah, no.
What's to be continued? What was the fucking, like, so that was a one-shot story? Like, I don't understand why I'm buying the next issue. You know what I'm saying? What is the conflict for Iceman?
I guess this is just like an introduction, which makes no. I mean, we all know Iceman, and he was one of the main. He's been a main team member in an X-Men book for decades. We don't really need a one shot telling us who Iceman is, what's he been doing. I mean, I guess. No, we really don't.
It's not even really what he's been doing. Like, all he did was you updated us on his relationship with his parents, which obviously sucks. So, you know, welcome to half the people's relationship with their parents in the world. And
and they gave us forced action just so we didn't get bored through all like the family shit.
Right. Yeah. They're like, we're gonna split this parental conversation up into two parts with a random fight scene in a hospital because this girl, not hurt or anything, just came running for sanctuary. Like she, at one point she's screaming sanctuary, like there's a safe spot. You're playing tag somewhere, and I'm in the base. You can't get me in the base, you know.
Sanctuary. I can't do a good British accent. Sanctuary.
Yeah. Yeah, is that what they do over there? I don't think that works anywhere.
That's Toby. People run around saying, sanctuary! I need sanctuary! This man isn't out. He's hurt me.
So we do things a little different around here. We tell you to buy it, borrow it, or forget it altogether instead of kind of a 1 to 10 scale. And I don't have many notes for my reasoning behind forgetting this bad boy altogether, other than the art was not good. It wasn't horrible, it wasn't the worst art I've ever seen, but it didn't really do anything to at least say, oh, well, it covers up some of the story errors or things like that, Iceman, just as like Trevitt, you said, he's not like a character that needs a solo title to expand on who Iceman is. So that's a strike against it to begin with. And when you don't give you something that grabs your attention in the first issue, I don't know what you're coming back for. What the next story or the next issue will be like, and there's no hints or threads left here in issue 1. If I had to make a educated guess, I would say it's Bobby trying to find a date, like it always is with Iceman books lately. And I don't buy this book. That's forget it altogether. Fuck you 5. Forget it altogether if I had to rate it. So yeah, stay away from this bad boy. What do you think?
All right. I was super excited for this book. I was hoping maybe.
Yeah, I know you were. This was you've been talking about the solo Iceman since the relaunch started.
It kills me because like Iceman is one of my favorite characters, and a lot of people don't know this about Iceman, but he's one of the most powerful mutants there is. He's an Omega level mutant. He can control moisture in the air.
They do mention that like twice in this book too.
Yeah, because he says it to young Bobby. He says, show me what an Omega mutant can do. Like, and he could do some really amazing shit. And maybe that's what I was hoping for. Like, here's a pitch for you, Cena Grace. Like, instead of like Bobby's we can learn about Bobby's personal life. Like that's great and all, but it doesn't have to be the whole issue. It doesn't have to be the story. Let's do something greater for the story. Let's make it about his Omega level powers. Like maybe he's going through something in his powers, like he's getting stronger and he's having a hard time controlling it, and he goes on this like crazy adventure. Like that would be way better than fucking
this. I'm already more interested in your fan fiction right there than I am in this book. So
right. And as far as the art goes, like it's Alessandro Vitti. Like if you've ever seen his Secret Wars with Jonathan Hickman or his Red Lanterns run with Charles Soule, it's pretty much, it is what it is. Like this is what you get from Alessandro Vitti, and it kind of looks a little unfinished. It's not completely awful, but it's not really good by any measure either.
Like everybody's eyes to me just look like soulless people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
they're all squinting. Everybody's squinting, and we get one look of a wide-eyed young Bobby, and he looks fucking creepy. Oh wait, I'm sorry. We get a wide-eyed shot of older Bobby too. But even when he goes and visits his parents in the hospital, like his mom's squinting, his dad's squinting, like everybody's squinting. Like there's not one person who's not fucking squinting. Yeah. But this book was bullshit, like straight up and down. Like it really was. Like I'm sorry. Like if the author ever hears it, he's probably like, "Who the fuck is this guy to talk?" You never written a comic. Well, you know what? Fuck you. Well, write a better comic. Like seriously, write a better comic. Like you have gold here. Like you have something that no one has ever really done before. Like you have we finally get an Iceman series where it's going to be an ongoing. It's not a mini. It's not a maxi. It's an ongoing. And you're just shitting all over it. Like it could be so good. You could do something so interesting. Like let's not completely focus on his personal life. Like make that like a side story arc, and then focus on something cool about Iceman. Focus on his powers. Like make him go on an adventure. Like he's fucking walking around. He's chilling with young Bobby, talking about dates. Doing his dating profile. We go see his shitty fucking parents who are like racist old time shitbags who treat him like garbage. Like oh Bobby, maybe you should leave because you're gonna make us look bad.
Those were my parents. You know what I'm saying?
No, I wouldn't either. I would be like, oh yeah, I haven't met any girls yet either. I wouldn't tell them I was gay. Obviously, they can't handle it. They can't even handle him being an awesome superhero. Like, so fucking stupid. Like, yeah, Spider-Man can shoot webs and throw cars, but like because I'm a mutant because I didn't get my powers from someone biting me, I'm a scumbag. Like, fucking shitty ass parents. Like, straight up. But
so stupid.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, this is a forget it all together. Like straight up, goodbye. Like I'm not buying this ever again.
No, I hope this is canceled after 6. Like, and just like, and stop. Like, Bobby can be an awesome gay superhero character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But stop making that the only characterization of him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
You don't have to make him like
to be brought up 8 different times, 8 different ways, and he's on a dating app. He hasn't told his parents. He is possibly forced into being the third wheel. Like, it's brought up in 4 different ways, this issue. We get it. Okay, we get it. Move on and tell the story.
I understand Bobby's gay. We've known Bobby was gay since All New X-Men with Bendis. Like, you know, I mean,
it's 2015. If you don't know by now, you don't care. So move on with the story.
Is the whole book going to be like this? Is everything going to be about? Is this going to be? Is this more going to be about Bobby being gay, and then all the side stuff is going to be the fights, or like the event? Like, the side story is going to be the big adventure. And then the focal point is him sitting down with his parents and having coffee. Like, come on. That's lame. So lame. And it has nothing to do with him being gay. Even if he was straight, this would be fucking lame. Like, this would be lame no matter what.
Like, they don't even really, like, they don't. Well, I mean, they do hint that he's gay. You know, they make that very clear. But just substitute I like guys for I like girls, and it's the same book. Like, you still have the same problems with it. That doesn't change based on who he likes, you know. So it's nothing like that. It's just a very boring title, and we're gonna have to talk about it again later tonight.
I know. Jesus, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to see
you. You guys have picked so well for voting for so long, and all of a sudden we get settled with this shit. So, but you were excited for it too, so it's not just their fault.
Bummed. I'm so bummed.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be awesome.
But that's it. That's it, guys. That's it for us this week. If you're looking for us throughout the week, we're always on Twitter, sharing poll lists and a bunch of other nonsense. You can find me at bmer3660. Trevitt, where can they find you, man?
You can find me at Afronatic.
All right, so party is over on our end. If you're looking for a little more Marvel talk, again, we do the Marvel Madness Comics podcast. Type that into iTunes, into Podbean. You'll find us. We popped up on the one I listened to this week, Player FM. So slowly getting out there.
Yeah, we're on mine too, Pocket Casts.
Yeah, so there we go. We should be starting to service more people, hitting more of the catchers. So check that out if you want to hear some more Marvel talk, and look for the poll on Monday for your choices of 3 new books to pick from for next week. Any other last minute thoughts?
Oof. No, I'll save them for tonight.
Okay. Yeah. If you want a good #1 X-Men jumping on point, there's Astonishing coming out. Stay away from Gold and check out Blue. That's the X-Men you need to read. Yeah.
Check out Jean Grey if you want a good X-Men solo title so far.
Yeah.
Dennis Hope.
Those are we've pretty much covered all the X-Men books. And those would be our suggestions so far, would be buy Blue, buy Jean Grey based on your love for it. I haven't read it yet. But the other solos have kind of like, you know, Oof. Old Man Logan ended in a nice fashion if you don't want to continue that. So I don't know. That's where we're at in the X-Men world. I guess it's kind of like we're in a holding pattern until Legacy hits, really, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like
a lot like the DC books until this doomsday clock shit strikes 12. Like we're just waiting for everything to happen.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. It's con season, and that's where they want everybody not reading comics, I guess, because we're all just going on. But we'll stop rambling and ranting. You guys enjoy your week. You know where to find us. Party's over. Peace out.
Peace.